stay true to your convictions and work your tail off, and good things will happen.
Episode 131 featured five-time conference champion Coach Mike Heffernan at the College of St. Scholastica. They are located right outside of Duluth, Minnesota, and today we spoke about the importance of life lessons gained from sports, such as preparedness, purpose, and pivoting, both in coaching and in life. So let's dive right into the content, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Our football program's only about 15 years old, 16 years old here at the College of St. Scholastica, and I was here when about a year into the program first being started, went away, had the ambitions of coaching at the highest level, right, to be the offensive line coach as high as I can get, and then had an opportunity to come back as the head coach, and I came back as the head coach, and this is where I'm at right now.
Gotcha. So we were talking off camera that you've been at St. Scholastica for a total of 10 years at two different stints.
Yep.
So can you talk about what that was like coming back to a program that you had already coached at and coming back as the head coach at in 2019?
Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, I really, really enjoyed the thought of being able to come back to a place that I had such a great experience, already had a network of friends and colleagues and coworkers. So the opportunity to come back was really important because we were really successful early on here as a program, and did a really great job. In the first 10 years of our college football program, we had won 5 championships. Our first senior class went undefeated, won a conference championship. That was the first one. So when things are really good, you had great experience. It's easy, to reflect and say, hey, that was really great. But it also gave me an opportunity to realize that, hey, maybe when I moved on the last time, the grass wasn't greener. We were in a pretty good situation, and that's why it was great to come back.
Definitely. So backtracking just a little bit, coach. So on your website, it talks about how you played at Elmhurst College.
Mhm.
So being a Division III player and then obviously transitioning to being a Division III coach, can you talk about what that was like and that extra perspective that that gave you?
Yeah, really, the biggest perspective came out of I actually started playing at Illinois State, and was scholarship football player there, and I made it about 2 seasons, and I didn't take care of my business, and I lost my scholarship and lost my opportunity because I wasn't mature enough and didn't handle things that I should have been handling, and I ended up going to an intimate Division III college, right, at Elmhurst, very much like the one that I coach at. And the impact that those coaches had on me is the reason why I coach college football. And it's the reason why I love coaching Division III.
Yeah, and just talking about Division III real quick. So I was a player at Gettysburg College, and I talk about this a lot on the podcast, but my coaches, the same way that you were saying, they just had such a profound impact on me. And I actually also just recorded a podcast with my one of my high school coaches, and we were just talking about some of our days back then. And really, it's crazy to think like for me, I'm 24, but some of those playing days are almost 10 years ago now. So it flies by, but the lessons that you learn along the way are ones that are going to stick with you for the rest of your life. For any of the athletes watching, and we were just talking about with my coach, Coach Womack. He was saying there's three keys that he always brings to whether it be playing or the business world, and he was also obviously a coach, but preparedness, purpose, and pivoting, and and I think that can be related to any coach, and especially at the Division III level. And it sounds like for you, pivoting from a Division I program to a Division III.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The experiences that I had um, in my first 2 years of college, I learned a lot from, and then the rest of the way through at the Division III institution was all life lessons, and it's all things that I was able to carry on and give to my guys today.
For sure. So, can you talk about over your coaching career,
Mm.
what would be the top 2 to 3 things that you've learned that you would want to give feedback to maybe a young coach who's just getting started?
Yeah, first and foremost is be patient, right? And with that is just work your tail off wherever you are. That was the number one best piece of advice that I ever got, and it always held true. Just like as a player, right? You want to get recruited, you want this, you want that. Well, if you work your tail off, right, people will find you. And the next thing would be do every responsibility that you can think of and that you're allowed to. I forget which AFCA convention it was. It was one of my first conventions, and I think Coach Franklin from Penn State was the one that I stole it from. But he talked about at every single level, right? High school through Division 1, now it'd be Power Five, right? And every single position that you could have, every single responsibility you can have, make an Excel spreadsheet and find out where if you want to be a Power Five coach, well, then you have to fill in every single blank that there is before you can expect to become a Power Five coach. And if you do that your entire career and you work your way up, then you should be able to put yourself in a position to accomplish your goal, right? So I kind of took that on, kind of made my own deal, and that's what I followed the entire way, and it always worked for me. So you got to find whatever strategic plan that you come up with a plan where you're taking on responsibilities and you're coaching football, right? That was the second most important lesson was coaching, actually coaching a position, run a meeting room, and then take on responsibilities so that you can say, hey, I recruited on the road, or, hey, I ran, on campus recruiting visits, or hey, I went to home visits. Hey, I did the equipment, I took care of the buses, I took care of travel, all the things that you can do. That's all things that you can bring to the table.
Yeah. And I think I'm currently reading a book by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he talks about
Mhm.
it's the seven habits for life. I believe that's the title, but it just talks about being useful.
Mhm.
So whatever it might be that you're doing, add value to that. And
Mhm.
once you do that, you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of, like you were saying, sticking with it and having that perspective that whatever it is that you're doing today is going to get me to whatever my goal is down the road. And you got to learn how to dream big. And even if you don't hit those goals, those big goals, and you're doing those things every day, you're still going to be successful because you're going to still, for example, if you're trying to be an NFL coach, maybe you don't get to the NFL, but maybe you end up at a great Division 2 or Division 3 institution.
Correct.
So, any last words, coach, that you want to be able to share with the audience today?
No, just stay true to your convictions and work your tail off, and good things will happen, right? It's the old pay attention to detail, you do the little things, good things will happen in the end.
Perfect. Well, coach, it was a pleasure talking with you today. Best of luck as you wrap up recruiting, and thank you again.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.